Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Contagious Smile Team Talk. We have huge, groundbreaking news. Are you ready? Are you ready, everybody? We have a new co host to join with Faith, and it is one of our all time favorite guests who we've had on a bunch of times, who has become near and dear to both Faith and myself. Hi, Shanti. Did you? What happened? Oh, no.
Wait, there we go. I'm so sorry. It just froze.
Well, we just announced new
Yay!
breaking news that we have a new co-host, and we announced that it was you. And you froze.
Thank you.
So tell everybody who doesn't know about you, because everybody does, a little bit about you and that you're taking up the role of co-host.
Of course. So, my name is Shanti Hershenson. I think we know that one. I'm a teen author. I started writing during the pandemic, and ever since, I've just been writing and publishing books and building my platform. My books cover a variety of genres. I do science fiction, fantasy, contemporary, poetry, and I just have a lot of fun doing it.
Yes, and we have had you on our show a few times. It's been
Yeah.
how long now? A couple years.
3 years, I
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
something like that. And during that time, you and Faith have become pretty good friends. And we are honored to have you as our permanent new co-host. So exciting. Tell everybody how we met you and the first book we talked to you about because it's still one of my favorites.
Of course. Um, did we meet on Podmatch? Like, I genuinely don't remember at
Yes.
this point. I think
Yes.
so. Yeah, it was Podmatch.
Yes.
And yeah, the first book we talked about was You Own Her Name. I don't have a copy next to me. I usually do. It's one of my most popular books. It's a novel told in poetry about bullying. I wrote it when I was in seventh grade. And I'm a junior in high school now, so it's been some time.
Yes.
But yeah, really releasing that book really kind of changed my career. It really helped me gain a whole new readership. And I believe like that's when things started to take off.
Tell us about the book.
Of course. So, it's a novel told in poetry about bullying and it's based on a true story. I wrote it mainly as an outlet for myself to kind of get through some experiences I've had and to really just try to like deal with like my own problems. And in that, what happened was I had this whole little book I'd written. It's about 200 pages. Well, it's poetry, so it's a lot shorter than my other books. And when I went to go publish it, I didn't really want to like publish it like the other books I'd written where I was going to have a whole marketing plan and I was really trying to get people to read this. I just wanted to publish it to get it off my chest.
Right.
And it was all like a very sudden release. I mean, I was still advertising my debut novel, Biomlock. And then I was like on Instagram, I was like, hey everyone, I just published a poetry book, very suddenly. And the response was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Right.
And in that, I really, first off, I learned a lot about book marketing through that book. And I really, as the days kind of passed, and I started to get more sales, I started to really promote this book more. And I was like, okay, this is no longer just a little project of mine. This is actually one of your big books.
Yeah. Faith. Hi. Hi. So, how cool is it to be co-hosting with one of your good friends? Incredible. Yeah. So I love the camaraderie and the chemistry that the both of you have. It's amazing. Both of you are published, and it's amazing. What is it like for the two of you to be young adult authors?
So, do you want to answer first?
You don't go first. I don't mind.
Yeah. Let's see. So, sorry, I'm so tired. I was at a concert last night, so I'm like completely zoned out.
You can go first.
Wait, what? Just I'm so sorry. It's like cutting out. There we go.
And she said she wanted you to go first.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I like it's like cutting out a little, so I'm like, am I going first? But yeah, so like being a teen author, it's amazing. Um, It's really special to me. I will say though, it can be very difficult, to like put yourself out there online and to write knowing that a lot of people are going to be like critiquing you. But it's also, I really enjoy it and I really like getting to talk with like other teen authors and getting to share my work. And really, like I've made like so many friends through this and I've really been able to like kind of like come out of my shell. And I just quoted my children's book. Anyway.
What about for you, Faith?
For me, it's like normal. It goes fine, but it also will good because I have a lot of ideas from my mind, so I got to put it out on paper and then it comes in different ways.
Awesome. Books do you think you've sold altogether, Shanti?
Good question. I'm like trying to remember. I check this like monthly. Um, so I do a lot of like discounted books. So I have like a lot of like discounted sales.
Yeah.
I guess those count. It's around like I think it's close to like 40,000 at this point. It's a huge number, so I don't want to like get it wrong.
Right.
But
Holy heck!
Right. Good for you.
thank you.
What did you do to celebrate? Did you buy your first car? What did you do to celebrate?
Let's see. Unfortunately, like I don't make too much money off of my book sales, so I end up putting a lot of it back into marketing. But whenever I do hit a milestone, I usually sell. I like getting cupcakes to celebrate. Like,
Thanks. What's your favorite kind?
ooh, red velvet.
Ooh,
That's a nice flavor.
yeah, it's a great. So, what do you guys think about like how you could give advice to the teens that maybe want to try and start writing, but they have no idea where to begin?
Let's see. It's like I always answer this question exactly the same, so I'm like, should I try to be different this time? No, I'm not gonna be different. Maybe I will be. My biggest advice, and I like piece of advice, I always say this, like every time I'm asked on like social media, on podcasts, is just write every single day. There are a lot of authors that might disagree with that, and honestly, like that's like totally fine. It's different for everyone. So, if writing every day like stresses you out, then I recommend not doing it. But what I found is just writing a specific number every single day has allowed me to really improve my skills. And it's just created this habit. So now I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go do my 1,000 words. And I just do it every single day, rain or shine. I had a concussion like about a year ago and I did my 1,000 words. I don't recommend that because that was probably not smart. But I like just in building this habit, I've really been able to get my books done a lot quicker and I've just been able to get the story out, whether or not it's good, whether or not, it makes sense, because those are all things to like worry about in the second draft.
Sure. What do you think?
Well, not to do it all at once. Like if you want to do a book, put it down in different notes.
Like she was saying.
Yeah, and then try to come up with a concept, put it at once. And like, but if you want to do like a series, come up with the main character first. So, kind of like, for example, here's an example, I will spoil it. One of my books I'm writing is about a passenger trying to protect others from the bad past. So I like her and write about like her past first. So, and then the other characters related to that, so that I could build up the concept and the backstory and all that. I could write the book.
That's clever too. Yeah. What do you do when you get writer's block?
Ooh, it's a good question. So let's see. I'm trying to like think of like a specific experience. Recently, so for school, I'm in a writing class. And that was the first time in a while that I've experienced like traditional writer's block. Just because like when I'm writing my books, I have like some idea of what I'm gonna write, and then that usually eliminates the writer's block. And like with my novels, like I've gone through the process so many times that it's a little easier to like kind of get through that. However, with poetry, absolutely not. I don't know what I'm doing. I wrote a poetry book when I was in 7th grade. But right now, I've really actually like experienced like poetry block where I have an assignment and I have to write in this specific like format of poem, but I just don't know what I'm going to do. And really, the only way I can work through that is just like come up with a bunch of ideas and then just like figure out which ideas for the poem, or even in this also, pertains to like any other kind of piece of writing, and just like which is I'm like most excited about. Doesn't matter like which is going to be the most poetic or beautiful, just what am I excited about writing? And then once I do that, then that like actual like poetry or, writing kind of comes.
Nice. So, how and why did you decide to come on and be our co-host on Teen Talk? So exciting.
Well, first off, I love this podcast. And like I really like just the message and kind of everything that like you guys stand for. So really, it's been really fun like supporting you guys like over the years. And I really love doing these interviews.
And now it's you guys show, not us anymore. It's now all of you two. It's like the two of y'all. So one of the things that we have been dealing with a lot lately is the bullying and things that are going on at school. Tell me how that affects you. How are you handling all of the tension and stress?
Yeah, of course. So, definitely, things are a lot better now than they were a few years ago. And I think it's like, right now, like I'm in a good place with school. And, like I'm excited to go to school every day. And I'm really like, I'm like, I'm a lot better than I was a few years ago where I was like, I don't want to go to school. I can't do this. But I will say like a few years ago, like what helped me the most to like handle all of that stress and pressure, was just to like find a support system and like find people I could talk to and get help. And also really just like spending time doing things that make me happy, whether it's like of course writing or watching TV, and really finding things like outside of school that really helped me.
What are the biggest obstacles or fears that you both face as young adult ladies at this point in your life?
Good question. Trying to like think like how do I answer that? I think there's definitely a lot of pressure around girls. Like just in the world, and it's like you should be a certain way, you should do this. And then really, like I can, like being in publishing, I will say, it can be hard to like specifically like the genres I write. I love how I'm making this about me being a teen author. Anyways, there's like very specific issues here. But like being an author, and I write in science fiction, and that's a pretty male dominated genre. So it can be hard to get your work out sometimes when there are a lot of readers that just don't want to read books that are sci-fi and written by women.
What do you think is hard about being a young lady?
That you are worried about how you look and around other people and full questions.
Yeah. There are a lot of pressure?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And one thing I know is that it doesn't matter how you look, what matters is how you feel.
It's true. It matters how you're treated, not how you look. I don't think it's fair that people just take a look at you physically and then they automatically assume things without getting to know you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys experience that at your age, that people just look at somebody and say, oh, I'm not going to like them because I don't like whatever the reason is?
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that it's fair that like people judge you because, let's say, for instance, you have red hair, so somebody might judge you because you have red hair, or you have earrings, or whatever the case may be, they prejudge you before getting to know you. And do you think that that's fair?
No, it's never like a book by cover.
Cute little pun.
You forgot to know the person first, and you have an app before clicking their look.
Yeah.
Like, for example, there's one couple, right? They had a guy. The guy is gothic kind of, gothic style, look, fame. Like Antoine and Camille. But her parents are religious who doesn't appreciate her question or her life.
Well, wait, hold on. So you have a young lady who's into the Gothic style, but her parents are not, and her parents are religious. So how does the young lady obtain all of the clothes or whatever to be Gothic for her parents not to approve?
He was God. So at first, a time like Gothic was planned. But later on, when one of her friends, like, he had extra job as like a musician kind of. So one of her friends took her parents to see her perform and listen to one of her little songs and realized that he was not prepared, but he wears the Gothic style because that's what she most feel comfortable in and for the community because who she is. That's when they finally accepted her for who she is.
So when you see someone who you feel is getting bullied, what is your advice for that individual who's going through that?
To never let bully you.
Right.
Or no matter how long you can, always have a fight. And know that there's always going to be someone there for you no matter what.
What do you say, Miss Shanti?
Ooh, good question. I guess, I kind of touched on this earlier a little. My biggest advice for someone who's being bullied is to like find a support system. It's so much more difficult to go through that alone than when you have someone to talk to, whether it's like a parent or some trusted adult. I typically find that having a trusted adult really, really helps. But also, if you have peers that you really trust, then that also can be wonderful. And then also to like speak up. Don't, if you feel that this is a problem that your school can handle, go in, like tell them. Don't, just leave this to like, yourself to solve. And and don't like sorry, I just lost my train of thought. And don't let people tell you how you should and shouldn't feel in regards to bullying because ultimately it's a very unique experience I find. And don't let someone tell you like, "Oh yeah, this is normal," when you know it's not.
Right. And what about like in the moment? Like say, for instance, that you encounter a situation at school and you're being bullied, but for instance, most schools today have, hundreds and hundreds of students, but they only have like one counselor. So what is the student supposed to do?
So, I usually recommend like if you're like right then, your experience is something that's making you uncomfortable, like get out of that situation if you can. And inevitably there are some situations where it's going to be really difficult too. But if you can try to remove yourself from the situation, go, like get some space between you and the person. And unfortunately it's true that a lot of schools, and particularly public schools, they don't have the support to deal with this in like the way they should with like counselors or administrators. But one thing is most students at least, and unfortunately, there might be some who don't necessarily think this, but like most people, if not all, have some like adult on campus that they trust. There's someone that they feel comfortable telling and talking to.
That's phenomenal advice. That's such a good piece of
Thank
advice.
you.
It is because so many teens and young adults don't know what to do because their counselor's not available, or maybe they're in a class when it's happening and the teacher's just not paying attention or doesn't care, and then that makes it 10 times worse because not only are they already feeling humiliated and low self-esteem, but then they feel like the person who's supposed to be right then and there isn't supportive either. So that's such good advice. What institute are you working on right now?
Want to go first?
I listen on books or poetry.
You're doing both right now, right?
Yeah. So the book on my and called The New Will is about like 7 years ago, three goddess.
Don't get the whole thing away.
I'm not. Like 7 years ago, something happened that changed the entire world from local population ended. But a girl survived, and after like I had 7 years, she learned that her two sisters survived. and he climbed to look for them.
So for 7 years, he thought his two sisters.
No, she.
She. So for 7 years, she thought her two sisters were passed on, and in reality, he was still very much alive.
Yeah, like together, got a different state or something. But the girl survived because a group of refugees took her in and saved her life. And for little Edmund, no part of the population, everyone died. So not lots of people left except the three rebels, renegades,
Renegades, rebels, and what?
I do not remember the last one. I know it's called the Orville, but they're called the three Orcs. So they are bad people with a girl has to get through and finally can survive on her own with her less likely to get to her sisters.
What about you? What are you doing now?
Ooh, so let's see. I'm doing a couple different things right now. For one, I'm getting back into poetry a little more, mainly for school because I have to, but also like I'm really enjoying it again. I'm also working on the sequel to Little Green Man, which is a book that came out in April. And the sequel it's brutal. Mainly because again it's like way too long and I'm gonna have to split it up into multiple books. But that's okay. And then I'm also working on the final round of edits for the last Never Dying book, which is pretty sentimental to me because I published the first book in that series when I was 14, and now I'm finally publishing the last one.
Yeah. Tell us about, and congratulations, your first children's book you did.
Yes. Okay.
It's so cute. It is so cute.
Thank you. It makes me so happy. Honestly, writing a children's book has been something that I've been thinking about for so long. I mean, this dates back to like when I was writing my first novel, and I was like, it would be so fun to just write a children's book. And of course, it's a completely different, like, I feel like it's a completely different business. There's so much to it. It's so different marketing wise, but it's really just been something that I was like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And finally, I wrote the manuscript for a children's book that I really liked, and I hired an illustrator, and the rest is history. The reception has been great. It's so difficult to like market this to my audience when I've only been writing young adult books.
Right.
But, I'm doing it. It's going quite well, I feel. And I just it's been amazing. And now I'm like finally like gonna get to go and like speak to schools and like read the book to kids. And that just like that's a dream. That's amazing.
Can you tell us a little bit about it? It is so cute. Everybody has to check this book out. It's the cutest thing. I've always been very supportive of Shanti, and I like get her stuff and her books. And I mean, this is just the cutest. I wish I had a little one to read this to because it is just so cute. Okay, I'll be quiet. She's looking at me like. So okay, tell us about it.
Thank you. So it is about a little hermit crab, and he's very different. He's very shy, and this one day he gets swept away during a storm, and he has to both like find his way home and make new friends, and just really like find himself. And he also loves to sing, which I just think is so cute. The funny thing was this was just inspired by one of my stuffed animals. I have a hermit crab stuffed animal in my room that I call Zeke, and I was like, I should write a children's book about this guy. Like, I don't know. He could be a character. And that's what I did.
So are you going to write another children's book?
I would love to. I have like a bunch of ideas. It's just a matter of like when at this point. Because, writing children's books, it takes a lot less time.
Yes.
So ultimately, I feel like it does take a lot of time to come up with a good one. Because what I don't want to end up being like, oh, well, I could just write one of these like every week and then having to just write these like really formulaic, kind of like boring children's books. So I'm really waiting for like the right story that I really, really love to like reach me. And right now, like I have some contenders.
Yes. So how many books do you try to put out a year?
Ooh, good question. I believe I try to do 4. And in 2021, when I was in 7th grade, it was more than that. But I've kind of slowed down, mainly because the books that I'm putting out are a lot longer. But it's really I try to do like 4 like novels a year, and I believe this year because we had. All right, I'm gonna have to count. So like, for example, in 2024, I had Little Green Man come out in April. Then I had, I feel like there's, like, something I'm forgetting. Oh, yeah, no, then there was Never Far, and that was in June. And then we had Zeke Comes Out of His Shell. So I guess that technically doesn't count as, like, a novel, but that's a major release. So I do, it's, like, 4 major releases, and then occasionally I have, like, extra, like, novellas and stuff that are kind of, like, bonus content for my readers. And then I'll have, Nevermore, which is the last Never Dying book, that I'm going to try to put out this year, even though, you know, I kind of have, like, I've had a lot of stuff happen this year, just, like, really exciting news, but it's ended up, like, delaying my releases. So that should be 4 this year, and I believe it was 4 last year too. It might have been 5.
Are you self-publishing or do you have a publisher?
I'm self-published. Honestly, like, I can't, like, speak highly enough about self-publishing. It's been a great experience. But I'm also, like, interested in traditionally publishing some work as well, just because there's so many opportunities that you can get, like, from that.
Right. What questions do you have? This is so exciting because this is, like, first time you guys have been brought back together in a little while because y'all been so crazy busy. And so what do you guys see going on in your lives in, say, the next year?
Ooh, good question. Do you want to answer first?
Probably, I have thought of trying to, going back to look at my artists and all that. Or, like, every single kind of this to help other people.
Are you going to keep writing?
Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm only writing 10 books right now.
Right. But, yeah, she's also doing fashion design.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's not like I really design clothes, but yeah.
Did you hear something? That's so cool. She is designing some of the coolest stuff. And, like, the other day we were out walking around and I looked at her and I was like, are those my boots? And she's like, yeah, but they look better on me. And they were so good in her. They looked so good in her outfit, and I just was like, I just lost some shoes I've never even been able to wear yet. Like they were brand new, and now she's taken them hostage. And
Which one?
Which ones? Do you do that to your mom? Do you want to take her clothes, or do you not like her style?
I occasionally I do. I take clothes for my sister too. Not a lot.
She doesn't write, right? She's not a writer.
Yeah. Oh no, she's not.
Yeah. What does she like to do?
Let's see. She does a lot of like art and like crafts and stuff. Like she makes like jewelry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what about you? Where are you gonna be in a year?
Ooh, good question. I think I'm trying to do a lot more events. So, you know, when I first started, it was during the pandemic and I really didn't get to do like events at all. And then now, so I'm starting to really like get into that and trying to book like as many like book signings as possible. I really want to do like a book tour where I actually like get to travel for the book to like different states. And yeah, I also, I guess I have to start thinking about college, which is crazy. I don't know when that happened. I still think I'm 14. And yeah, really just trying to like expand my work.
He was 14. I mean, I know you're not, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I still.
Yeah, my birthday's in like a week.
And you're gonna be how old?
17.
Oh my goodness! What do you want for your birthday?
Ooh, I have no idea. Like everybody's been asking me. I'm like, I don't know. I want to. Yeah, I've never been able to answer that question. Like,
what are you gonna do for your birthday?
Oh, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna probably have like a little like birthday party. And I'm gonna do like an escape room.
Ooh, those are so much fun.
No clue.
I love escape rooms. They're like I'm no good at them, but it's still fun. Yeah.
What kind of escape room do you want to do?
I don't know. So I think there's like this one at the mall that I'm gonna try to like get all my friends to do, and then we're gonna have to like split into 2 different groups. But this one at the mall, they have like a Scooby Doo themed escape room.
Ooh.
And I was obsessed with Scooby Doo when I was a kid, so I feel like I would have fun with that.
Yeah, she was too. Absolutely. Definitely. So, at your school, did they let you drive to school?
They do. I don't drive though, so I don't, but a lot of my friends do.
Yeah. because I'm just trying to, like, so many things have changed since I was in school, and
Oh yeah.
like, what happened? It's not the horse and buggy years. I mean, come on now. But
not in September.
I was not born in the 1800s. So, some of the juniors and seniors were allowed to drive, and
Yeah.
just curious because I always like to see what's happening. Faith's been in homeschool forever, and so it's really kind of cool to see what's happening in this public school system. What is your theme for your prom and stuff this year? Do you know yet?
Ooh, I don't know about prom. I know we have homecoming, and our homecoming theme is Tangled, like the Disney movie. I'm actually not going to my school's homecoming this year, just because my boyfriend, he goes to a different school, and his homecoming's on the exact same day. So, and theirs is like Wild West, like cowboy themed.
Oh, that would be fun. So,
Yeah.
you picked out what you're gonna wear?
I haven't. And then speaking of prom, I did actually go to prom last year. I was just like trying to remember the theme. And the prom I went to last year, the theme was like Roaring 20s.
Like swing dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, how much fun! Do you know how to swing?
I did.
That's awesome. Now, your boyfriend, is he also a junior or is he a senior?
He's a senior.
So, is he going out of state for college or?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be hard on you. Oh, you guys have been together for a little while, right?
Oh yeah. 2 years in November.
Oh wow. And they're very cute together. I've seen pictures. They're very, very cute. I'm a little jealous that you went to this concert last night because that's like an awesome, awesome band, and I'm sure the show was fabulous.
Yeah, the songs are really good.
Yeah.
I know.
So we are going to be doing more Tea Talk regularly, and we're very excited about that. If anybody has questions, they can email us. And if you want to come on and talk to the girls, you can do that as well. We'll also have guests come on and let them talk to them. If you have certain topics you want to talk about, questions, anything of that nature, let us know. And we will be happy to have those questions and topics discussed for you. So, anything else you guys want to say before we head out?
I don't know. I'm always like every time like I'm asked that, I'm like, oh, I don't know. But like,
tell everybody where to find all of your amazing stuff. Let's go there.
Oh, of course. So my books, they're available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, pretty much everywhere you buy books online. They're also, if you live in Southern California, you might be able to find them in some bookstores. I always say they pop up in the most random places, so like if you check, they might be there. I always, this is my favorite story. I've had multiple people like send me photos of my books in their school libraries.
What?
Like,
That's cool.
Good.
Yeah. And if they want to reach out to you, how would you want people to reach out to you?
Of course. So you can contact me through my website. You can also contact me on Instagram or TikTok. Just unfortunately, like I get a lot of messages on like social media, so I might not see it. But if you contact me through my website, there's a really good chance I'll reply.
I thank you guys so much for coming out today. And so, do you two want to? I'm gonna put Shanti in the hot seat and tell her to take us out. She's got to get used to doing it now.
All right, let's see. How do I do it?
However you want to close the show.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm remembering like my YouTube channel days. Thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is